If you enjoy videos like this, subscribe to the channel before the video starts. Night had fallen over the human military base. The stars shone faintly above the cold metal buildings, and silence filled the air, broken only by the soft hum of machinery. Lyra, a young alien explorer from a distant planet, crouched behind a tall fence. Her large eyes reflected the dim lights, full of curiosity and fear. She had heard stories about humans, creatures small, yet dangerous, but she had never seen one this close. Inside the base, a lone human soldier slept on a bench. His uniform was strange to Lyra. It was shiny, almost alive, and it hugged his body in ways she had never seen before. She felt an odd pull, an irresistible need to understand it. Slowly, she crept closer, her small hands trembling. Just a little closer, she whispered to herself. Her heart pounded as she reached the bench. The uniform glowed faintly under the dim lights. Lyra touched it, feeling something warm under the cold fabric. It was soft, yet strange shapes moved beneath it, almost like the uniform was breathing. Her curiosity grew stronger than her fear. She gently tore a small corner of the uniform, careful not to wake the soldier. What she saw made her gasp. Something moved beneath the fabric, lines of silver and blue that looked like veins, pulsing softly with light. She had never imagined anything like this. "What is this?" she breathed. The soldier stirred. Lyra froze, holding her breath. One eye opened, then the other. He sat up slowly, his face calm but alert. Lyra could see now that the uniform wasn't just clothing, it was part of him, part of something, not fully human. Her mind raced. Had humans been hiding this secret? Was this why their soldiers were so strong, so fearless? Lyra's eyes widened as she noticed faint mechanical movements under his skin. The human's chest rose and fell in a steady rhythm, but there were tiny sparks of light moving beneath his ribcage. The uniform and the body were connected in a way she had never seen before. It was alive. It was something else. A sudden noise broke the silence. A security drone whirred nearby, its red eye scanning the area. Lyra panicked. She pulled back, her fingers brushing against the torn piece of fabric. "I need to go," she thought, but she couldn't take her eyes off the soldier. He was now fully awake, sitting straight and looking directly at her. Her stomach tightened. She knew she had seen something forbidden, something that could change everything she thought about humans. The soldier's gaze was steady, almost knowing. He had felt her presence. Lyra's mind screamed at her to run, but her body was frozen. And in that moment, time seemed to stop. The hum of machines, the distant lights, the cold air, all of it disappeared. There was only her, the soldier, and the secret that lay beneath his uniform. The secret that could not be unseen. Lyra whispered to herself, "What is he, really?" And just as she leaned closer, the soldier's hand twitched. Her heart skipped a beat. The discovery had begun, and there was no turning back. The alarm had not even fully sounded yet, but Lyra could feel the tension in the air. Red lights flashed across the walls of the base, casting long, jagged shadows. The soldier she had seen, the one with the living uniform, was no longer asleep. He was standing, and every step he took seemed to echo through the empty corridors. Lyra pressed herself against the cold metal of a storage crate, her heart hammering like a drum. She couldn't look away. What she had seen beneath his uniform haunted her. Glowing veins, subtle movements, something alive and mechanical. This was not just a human soldier. Her mind raced. Humans had secrets far deeper and stranger than she had ever imagined. The soldier stopped. His eyes scanned the area, and for a moment they seemed to pierce through the shadows, straight to her hiding place. Lyra held her breath, hoping he wouldn't find her. But curiosity had driven her too far. She had to know the truth. Carefully, she moved closer, ducking behind consoles and crates. From a narrow corner, she peered at the soldier again. The uniform wasn't just alive, it was a living armor. She noticed small pulses of light moving along his arms and legs, like tiny circuits of energy. They weren't human veins. They were something else, something alien. Almost suddenly, she saw another movement. In the reflection of a polished floor panel, more soldiers appeared, humans, but their uniforms moved unnaturally. Lyra's stomach twisted. They weren't just wearing the suits. The suits were merging with them. Humans were not humans anymore. They were experiments, hybrid creations. Her curiosity became fear. Before she could process it, the soldier she had first seen turned sharply. His gaze locked on hers, and for a split second, something flickered in his eyes, maybe understanding. Lyra froze. She realized she had uncovered something much bigger than a single secret uniform. This base was a lab, a breeding ground for human experiments. And then she heard it, a faint mechanical worry from behind a wall. The sound was subtle, almost like breathing. Lyra's instincts screamed at her to run, but she was drawn toward the source. What kind of technology could merge human flesh with living armor? Her mind reeled with possibilities and dangers. A sudden shout echoed through the corridor. "Intruder!" A group of soldiers rounded the corner. Lyra ducked, heart racing, as the glowing veins on their uniforms flickered like warning lights. She realized there was no escaping. They were faster, stronger, and somehow alive in a way humans should never be. In that tense, red-lit corridor, Lyra understood the truth. the humans were hiding something extraordinary, something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. And the soldier she had seen, he was only the beginning. Her eyes narrowed. She would survive. She would uncover the full truth, and the world would know what humans had really become. The base was alive, not with humans, but with the strange hum of energy running through metal walls, floors, and even the soldiers themselves. Lyra had never felt fear like this before. Every step she took echoed in the corridors. But the glow from the living uniforms was everywhere, moving, pulsing, watching. She had a small device in her hand, one that could record the truth. But truth alone wouldn't save her. She had to escape. Behind her, the soldier with the living uniform, the one she had first discovered, was now fully aware of her presence. His eyes glowed faintly, reflecting the lights of the base, as if he could see her every thought. Red alarms blared, shaking the metal floor beneath her feet. Drones with spinning lights swept the corridors, scanning for intruders. Lyra pressed herself against a wall, trying to control her racing heart. She could see more soldiers emerging from shadows, their uniforms shimmering and twitching like living creatures. The realization hit her like ice. Humans had been experimenting on themselves. They weren't just soldiers, they were hybrids, more than human, less than alien, and completely unstoppable. Lyra darted down a narrow corridor, weaving through crates and pipes. Sparks flew as one of the hybrid soldiers swung at her with mechanical precision. She barely rolled out of the way, her hands scraping the cold metal floor. Her mind raced. She had to reach the lab. The lab held answers. The lab held proof. Finally, she reached a heavy door marked with a strange symbol. Using her device, she forced it open. Inside, the lab was a maze of glowing tubes, wires, and cages. Inside some cages, human soldiers were strapped into the living uniforms, their bodies twitching unnaturally, merging with the armor like living machines. Lyra's stomach churned. This was bigger than she imagined. An army of super soldiers being created in secret. Before she could examine further, a familiar voice called from the doorway. "Stop right there." The first soldier, the one she had discovered, stepped into the room. But instead of attacking, he spoke calmly, almost sadly. "You shouldn't be here," he said, his eyes flickering with the pulse of the living uniform. Lyra realized something. Not all humans were enemies. Some were victims of their own experiments. She raised her device and whispered, "The world must know." With one swift movement, she activated a small explosive she had hidden. Sparks flew, alarms screamed louder, and chaos erupted. In the confusion, she ran. Through corridors, past hybrid soldiers and drones, she dashed toward the exit. Every second felt like a lifetime. Finally, the outside air hit her face. She gasped, exhausted but alive. She looked back at the base, its glowing walls pulsing like a heartbeat. She had escaped, but the secret was safe with HFY now. Lyra's fingers trembled as she held the device. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. The truth about humans, about what they could become, was out there, waiting, and she would make sure the galaxy knew. If you liked the video, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.